Okay, greetings everyone, and welcome to the third episode of the new Wonders Hour podcast. That's right, that's what we called it. I can't remember from one to the next what the heck we're doing. Yeah, I know we're doing a podcast. I got that right, huh?
Yes.
Okay. So at least we got that right. Okay. So here we are, the New Wonders Hour podcast, episode number 3. Da 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 da. Okay. So now what are we going to talk about today? I have no clue.
I have no clue either. I had a list and then I forgot it. So.
Maybe we should talk about our minds and how they seem to lose everything.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to have a cup of coffee along with this podcast. Join me. Enjoy your coffee while you're listening to this. Have a great time and enjoy yourself. We're trying to create something a little different here. We're trying to make it a little bit more flowy, if you want to call it that. We want to have some fun. I mean, the whole point of having this podcast is not to be sitting there going, we are doing the Wonders Hour podcast, and oh my God, it's going to be so good. You like that?
Yeah, I do actually.
You'd be surprised, eventually, guys, you'll start to see a different bunch of personalities coming through me, and it's not going to be all of the Wonders, it's going to be my personalities. Anyhow, where was I? Oh yeah, right. So we're going to play. We want to play. We want to have some fun. The reason we're doing this is to show you a different side of us so that we can have some fun and play, And I look the same. Yeah.
I always offer to put makeup on you. And just
I know, but I just can't handle the,
You could do nail polish.
nail polish and makeup. Yeah.
We'll get there yet. We'll get there.
Maybe one day when I wish to cross-dressing.
You just add an E to your name and all of a sudden you're Renee.
That's it, an extra E, there you go. I could be Renee and Renee. Oh, sounds the same.
Never know which Renee I'm talking to.
Only by the dress that I wear. And I'm not saying I'm going to get into a dress, guys. That's not what I'm saying. Though I could one day. I did when I was very young. Swore I'd never do it again. But that was back then. Things have changed. Over the years, we've progressed, we've changed, we've grown, we've expanded. And things that used to scare me when I was a kid growing up don't scare me anymore. Thank God. We were talking not that long ago about, I'm 74 years old. Okay, now that doesn't seem like it's all that old to me, like I really don't feel 74. I don't think I look 74. Take a look. Ivan, the what do you call that thing?
The iguana?
The iguana.
I think you're going to have to explain that story.
We were in our first house here in Mexico. There was an iguana.
He just lived in the backyard and he would
Yeah.
just travel around to different parts of the yard.
Maggie's brother called it
Ivan.
Ivan. For whatever reason, I don't know why Ivan came up, but Ivan came up. And one day we were walking into the yard. We had a gate. We opened the gate, walked into the yard, and we're all going, where's Ivan? Because it's in the front yard. Where's Ivan? Don't know. And I turned around and there's Ivan right on the gate.
It's just
Stuck to the gate, vertical to the gate, his eyes looking over. And it's like,
It's frozen.
don't look at me. Just don't look at me. Whatever you do, I'm not here.
And we walked through that gate, so he must have just frozen in fear.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God,
Yeah.
they're gonna kill me.
Exactly.
And then he was just there as we were walking.
So that's the story of Ivan the iguana. So whenever we say freeze, that's what we're saying.
With the eye moving.
Yeah. Oh, fond memories of that time. So anyhow,
Maybe we should talk about how, because one thing that I've heard you say 1,000 times is people take growth, personal growth, spirituality so seriously.
Yeah, let's not get too serious about this shit.
and it's so boring when you get serious. And how can you sustain it if it's boring?
You can't. You can't.
Yeah.
I mean, the mind would just stop working.
Well, then it's like, you know, religion, you go to a church, you know, very serious.
Ever go to a church? Like I go to a church, I used to when I was a kid, and this would be me in the church.
I don't remember anything from church. I
Oh,
didn't
no. I
Other
remember.
than the good bread
Hey, listen.
and wine.
Well, there's that. I used to be the altar boy, and the altar boy, you're supposed to be awake, right? 'Cause
Right.
you're at the altar, you know.
You have to carry
But-
stuff, right?
On the big celebrations like Easter, Christmas, you know, the big mass celebrations, there's always a whole pile of us sitting in the pews, the altar boy pews. And some of us would be sitting there going, you know.
I've seen people fall asleep, like on the center part of it.
My dad, every time we went to church, the first thing he did is he sat down. Second thing he did is his eyes closed. I never saw him awake through the whole mass. And he'd wake up at the end of the mass and he'd look at me and he'd say, "Did you enjoy that?" And I'd go, "Yeah." No, I didn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
It's
was-
very boring, I found. And I don't mean that offensively.
Most priests that stand up there to give a sermon of some sort, it is a sermon. In other words, they boringly talk. It's like they all went to school to learn how to boringly talk to the masses and put them to sleep.
Yeah.
You know, hey, I'm not saying anything about the Catholic Church. I'm just saying that sometimes some people, a lot of times, a lot of people, they are boring. They really are boring. You know, I mean, we were talking not that long ago about meeting new people and, you know, interacting and how much we wanted to, you know, expand our relationships around us.
Yeah,
and
people
meet
that
new.
were just fun and wanted to laugh. They didn't want to talk about, like,
So then we started going out
serious.
and we introduced ourselves. Hey, how you doing? Hey, you know, and everybody's going, what are you talking to me for?
It's like they're not used to social interactions the same way as a couple decades ago. You know?
More than a
like-
couple of decades.
Okay. Well, I've only had a couple of decades, so I just can speak from my own experience. Okay.
All right, sorry about that, guys. We had to put a little pause in the whole thing because Amazon came and delivered. The one thing we do about living here is we have Amazon. We were talking about friends and acquaintances, but the only friends we have is the Amazon delivery drivers.
Yeah.
Oh, no. We also have the DHL drivers, the FedEx drivers. They all know us. We spend a lot of stuff just having deliveries to our door. So, yes, our social circle is basically delivery drivers.
And Starbucks. Burritos.
Oh, yeah, Starbucks. Well, you can't live without Starbucks.
They know our names.
They know our
It's like-
name. They know our
You get
names.
that.
Yeah, that. Absolutely. We have a great relationship with our stuff. They know our orders. They literally go in and they go, right, grande, venti, si lattes. Right. One stevia, one with two stevia. Okay, great. Got it.
That's how you know you're addicted to coffee, when the barista's like, yep, I know the order.
Oh, hey. I've admitted years ago that I'm addicted to coffee. In fact, that's why I have this. This is homemade, by the way. Nespresso coffee, much better. Right? Better than Starbucks. But since Starbucks at least allows us to go outside the house, otherwise we'd be in the house all the time.
But I wanted to go back to what you were talking about earlier, that was
Okay.
a detour. Seriousness doesn't help you grow.
Oh, you're going back serious?
Yeah.
You're going to go back to serious?
Yeah.
I don't want serious. Actually, we got to be careful. If
Wow.
we say serious too much, somebody's going to
Oh
answer.
yeah, we're gonna get a and the speaker's supposed to
What can we do for you? What can I do for you?
Siri for anyone who doesn't get the
Mm.
reference. 'Cause remember, there's Alexa.
Yeah, but we don't have Alexa. We have S because S is the apple,
This is an Apple house.
the apple of our life. Everything we do, we use Apple products for everything. So,
Yeah.
anyhow, you wanted to talk serious.
No.
Oh,
The opposite. I wanted to seriously talk about how being serious is not helpful.
You want to seriously talk about how not being serious.
Yeah. Following.
Oh, we're going to have a fun time today, I can tell.
One of those days.
Well, I don't know. Do you ever, I've done the whole thing. I mean, I've done the whole, call it spiritual exploration in a serious way. And when I started channeling the wonders, they said, "What are you doing?" Serious? And they said, no, you're here to have fun. You incarnated to enjoy this exploration. Why are you looking at your exploration as a serious thing? Like, I have to do this. You know what it is? I think I got it figured out.
Okay.
I think what happens is we're all so scared of becoming all that we can be that our minds take us into, you have to apply yourself seriously to the project of looking at things. You know? You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So in other words, if you're going to do something, if you're going to change your psychology, change your belief structure,
Right.
Find
Habit.
yourself a little, you're going to do it with intensity. You're going to really, but in order to do that, your mind defines intensity and everything else as an extreme effort to constantly be serious, because you can't do something intense while you're laughing and joking and having fun.
But it's actually the opposite.
Oh, yeah.
When you're having fun, everything falls into place.
Totally.
When you're serious, it's like effort, work.
Yeah, it's like when you're serious, you know that you have to take one step in front of the other. But when you're playing, you automatically just step one step in front of the other.
Yeah.
And you have a good time. And before you know it, yes, maybe you don't go in a straight line, and that's the beauty of really the exploration of life. Our life is never a straight line. It's a bunch of crooked lines all over the place. So, but if you're having fun, you can be crooked. You can be, I said crooked. I didn't say crook.
In this day and age, you might have to explain yourself.
I said crooked. I didn't say be a crook.
A lot of crooks around. Okay.
You can have crooked. You can arrive at some place in a very zigzaggy way without actually looking at, I have to do this in a very direct, straight line way to get from point A to point B to point C.
You become nimble.
Yes.
Less rigid, less unable to adapt and
But hang on
pivot.
a second, being rigid sometimes is important,
Well, that's true.
okay?
Yes.
Depending on what we're talking about.
Yeah.
We won't go there,
No.
because this is a public podcast.
Yes.
Yeah,
And we
don't
are
like that.
very professional.
Oh, there. Are we at?
By we, I included you in that, hoping to make it true. I don't refer to myself.
Hope runs eternal. It never works, but it runs eternal. It's like a gerbil on a wheel. Keep running eternally. Yeah.
Bowling. I
Yeah.
forgot what we were saying.
Yeah,
It was a
we
good
were talking
thought,
about eternal running. We were talking about being,
Oh, nimble and pivoting.
yeah,
Instead of being so like A to point B and I have to push.
anally retentive.
Right.
When you're rigid about something, when you sit there and you're moving through something in your mind, you become anally retentive about getting it done, because all you can think about is, I gotta get this done. I gotta get this done.
Yeah, and everything tightens up. All your whole
Totally.
energy,
Your
your
shoulders,
chakra,
everything.
your sphincter. My God.
Okay.
Oh.
I didn't realize you were taking your camera and looking at your sphincter to
I
see
thought you
how.
were going to agree with me and
Oh.
commiserate, but then you just looked at me.
My sphincter is never tight.
Uh-huh.
It used to be, not anymore. My sphincter is so loose. That's the problem.
Okay. That's a whole other problem.
But think about it. I mean, if you're rigid, all you can think about is, I must do, I must do, I must do. So you set yourself up to always do the whatever, to achieve something. It's the goal. It's like you're playing a football game and you know that you have to go in a straight line to get to the touchdown, the end zone.
Right.
And so look at you. Look at you with the word touchdown. Wow.
I was so impressed.
I
was like, did you see that?
Yeah.
I mean,
think about it. Maggie is not a sports addict, so
no.
I'm surprised she didn't say goal.
This is a big deal.
For hockey,
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you came from Chicago, so
Yeah.
you do know about hockey.
I do.
So, anyhow, yeah, touchdown. To the end zone, okay? Just to get to the point where you achieve something.
Yeah.
So you spend your whole life trying to figure out how to achieve something, but in doing that, you forget all about the other stuff that's all around you that can give you pleasure and joy and happiness and make your life fun and exciting and interesting.
And you stop the universe from helping you. And I don't say universe like this artsy-fartsy spiritual thing. I just mean like the flow. Like there's so many movements that interconnect that are so far beyond your control that when you're rigid, all you can do is what you can control.
So tell me about that. Is there? Is there anything that you're trying to control that you just can't quite? And all of a sudden you're getting thrown left things and right things at you.
Well, that's kind of like the story of my life, but I'm a recovering control freak.
Hi, my name is Maggie, and I'm a recovering control freak. Hey, Maggie, how are you?
I think.
Welcome to our group.
Like for me, the intensity of wanting something is like, I gotta have it. And I've been on this journey with the wonders in you. It's like, okay, you want something, big deal, get over it, but choose what's available. Choose and then choose the next step. Like, get up and go do something. Don't just sit around like, I want this.
Well, look, if you want spiritual enlightenment and you're sitting at home having breakfast, it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
Okay? It's like, boy, did you know that the Wheaties are just it's just like a whole metaphor for spirituality. Seriously, come on, get real.
Yeah, or people that say I want to grow spiritually, but I'll do it after work, before I feed the kids, after I walk the dog. It's like, okay, what you want maybe is to chill out a little, but it's like you have to be honest with what you're doing.
Yeah, okay, but that brings me to something else. We talk a lot about meditation.
Yes.
I'm a firm believer about meditation because I've been practicing it now for almost 40 years, okay? Mm-hmm. And I know for myself the benefit of meditating. It's so impactful that I love doing it every day, at least an hour a day, at least.
Right.
I don't always succeed for an hour, but at least an hour a day. And sometimes I even can get 2 or 3 hours a day if I really just have some time and I can relax. Like I'll sit and I'll relax and read a book, and then maybe I'll read a couple chapters, or and then I'll just put them down, and then I'll just meditate because I feel the urge to quiet my mind. Not that urge. I feel the urge. Move under my feet. Oh, that's urge, not urge.
Oh,
right.
God. I hope everybody listening is going, oh, I feel that urge.
I'll feel the earth move. Nah, not urge, not urge. Never mind.
You feel the urge.
Thank you. I'm going back to the urge now. Okay, so I feel the urge to quiet my mind, to quiet myself. I don't know if anybody who's practicing meditation has gotten there. I'm sure that if you've practiced it for a long time, you feel that yourself. And especially if you practice it regularly.
Yeah.
There's a point in time when you start realizing for yourself, I need to be quiet. I need to not have my mind so busy running around like a gerbil on a wheel.
Yeah.
Okay? I need to just have a quiet moment. You know? Not with a glass of wine, as some people like to do, not with a beer or a drink, but more with just myself. You know? So, excuse me. So for me, I find that it gives me that time to reconnect with myself internally, with my, call it my sense of myself, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, who am I? What am I all about? You know, what do I choose out of life? What do I want? And it's a journey to do this stuff, by the way, okay? It's not easy sometimes. But it's like, wow, when you achieve that sense of tranquility and peace, you know, we talk about the connection to the presence.
Yeah.
You know, the wonders said
Yes.
to us, you know. It's like I feel so connected to that presence when I meditate that it's like I am it, it is me, you know?
But basically everything that exists.
Yeah. And I love going, I don't meditate on specific things. Like a lot of people say, oh, meditate to achieve something.
Right.
Well, that's just thinking about a goal again. That's just
That's using your
setting
mind.
yourself up for another straight line somewhere. It was like, I can't do this straight line, so I'm going to go do this straight line.
And it's still using the mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You gotta get out of your mind. You gotta lose your mind.
Oh, I've lost my mind a long time ago. Seriously did. I had a nervous breakdown. I lost my mind that day.
Okay, hold on, because that's not the same thing. Nervous breakdown is like actual.
Losing my mind.
Yes, but
Yeah.
in meditation, you can almost like go beyond it and come back.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But once you've lost it, then you spend the rest of your life looking for it.
Not that that
Where's
is what
Renee?
you
I
were
don't know. His mind's somewhere around here. Keep looking. Like, oh, yeah. Oh, look, he's close. I think he's found it. I think he's found. No, he hasn't. Matter of fact, he's doing a podcast and he's a little crazy. He definitely hasn't found his mind.
Yeah. You're not encouraging people to get on the journey, bro.
I'm not here to encourage people to get on the journey. I'm here to encourage people to just be themselves.
Well, that's what I mean. I don't mean the journey like home. I mean like just be real. Be more real. Stop. Like we had a study group last night. We were talking about stop the bullshit. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I think that's the best thing about all of this is like, the less you bullshit yourself, the better you feel.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But let's be realistic. I mean, to go right back to the beginning, it's difficult. You know, people, it's not like you're going to learn this thing today and tomorrow you'll wake up and you'll be a different person.
Yeah, there's a lot of layers.
Well,
It's like an onion.
I've been doing this for 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit.
Holy shit, that's longer than I've been alive.
Holy shit, you're
Holy
right.
shit.
It's longer than I felt alive. Oops. But it is. It's just like you do that and you start to realize it takes time. But it's not like when I look back on it, it's not like it's taken time. I don't feel like it took a long time. It feels to me like it was just yesterday. And, you know, it's just, that's all it is. It's just, it was yesterday. So it's not like a lot of stuff happened, you know?
I guess when you're conscious of yourself in the moment, time stops to feel like that draggy thing.
It doesn't exist the same way. You know, like, it's not like, oh, geez, it's been, I don't know, 10 years or 40 years. Or...
And it's felt like...
The only time I ever say the word 40 years is when I talk like this. And to be very honest with you, when I said it, it's like, it doesn't mean it. What's 40 years? It seems like it was just yesterday when I started, you know? Or, okay, maybe the day before. Okay, but it doesn't seem like that's that long ago. It's like, it's just recently I just started doing this. And so I think if you live this way, maybe you're not, the old saying, maybe you won't live a long time, but you'll live a good time.
Yeah.
It could be it. I know for myself, when I die, and that is going to happen one day, somewhere, somehow, I know, maybe hundreds of years from now, but it's still going to happen, okay? It's going to, I want that when I die, that whoever's left over has a grand old party and then spends all of their time going, holy shit, he was a real party guy. And what an amazing life he led. Because I did it my way. I did everything I wanted, I don't ever want to go somewhere or die to that point and then have regrets. I don't want to live with regrets. I want to live with no regrets. I want to live with just, I chose. Before my accident, I had regrets. After my accident, for a while I had regrets. I was processing all of that stuff. But within 5 to 10 years, I was living without regrets. Now, I'm not saying everybody go out and get hit by a truck. So,
Again, not recommending this.
No.
Easier ways to do
But
it.
I am saying, don't be so upset that you haven't got it figured out right away.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be so upset that things are just not right there for you, Yeah, give it time. You'll figure it out. Okay? And if you really want it, if your desire is to get something, to move something, to live a different way, maybe you don't do it today, but tomorrow's another day. And maybe you do it tomorrow. Maybe you only do it tomorrow in just a little bit, but then the day after is another day. So take the moments you have where you're alive and take those moments and say, okay, I'm going to do something different today.
Yeah, like
to the best of your ability.
If this was your last day, would you look back on your life and go, I could
This was my last day. I go, whoopee! Not because it's my last day, but because I did everything I wanted. And, so people would say logically that means then that tomorrow I would have nothing left to do. But that's not true. Because tomorrow's another day,
right.
And I want to do so much more on that other day.
Yeah, so this is the thing I wanted to bring up. It's not that when you're, on your deathbed, you're like, I did everything. For me, I don't think it's the doing. I think it's the I chose.
And I'm being.
I was myself. Like, I was as honest as I could be, and I chose.
I'm being myself.
Yeah. Because when you do everything, that's when you get people like climbing Mount Everest and, the bucket list.
Well, you see this podcast, how we're laughing and having fun and joking. And by the way, for anybody who's listening, this is what we do all the time around here. Okay?
Why we never get any work done.
Well, actually, that's not true. We get a lot done.
No, yeah, I get everything.
Okay?
That was a joke.
I just crack the whip and get you going.
Yeah, you tell me to go do the work and then,
That's right. Yeah.
we get it done.
That's how it gets done. You do this, you do this, you do
And I'll
this.
drink my coffee.
Yeah, and I'll drink my coffee. And
Yeah.
I'll tell you how to do it. Yeah. But it gets done, right?
Yeah, the fun never stops.
No. And then that's the thing. And I suspect that on my deathbed, my last breath, I'll be going, oh, good.
Like a final
Yeah.
hurrah.
It's just.
You're not going to be scared.
No. Having died a couple of times, it's nothing to be afraid of. It really isn't. What's the real hard part sometimes is like living through the idea of having to say no to somebody. That scares the shit out of me. I'm a Libra. I don't like saying no to people. So having to say no to people, I can remember when I used to work like normal people do.
The muggles?
The muggles.
Yes.
Yes. And I used to work at a job behind a desk, and I was the supervisor of all these people. If I had to fire somebody, I couldn't do it. It was the hardest thing. I would putting it off until I was so frustrated with what was going on that I had to fire them. I was forced into it, and finally my boss would say, "Are you getting rid of that person?" And I go, "Okay, yeah." fire them. But I did it out of fear and anger. The anger to propel me through my fear. Whereas now it's like, nah, you're out of here. Goodbye.
It's healthier for everyone.
Oh yeah, because it's beneficial for the person that requires to be fired. Okay, that has to be fired, and then beneficial for me to, say this has run its course. Time to move on.
It's hard to say no for me as well, but it's more toxic if I avoid it. You know what I mean? Like, as hard as it is to, oh, maybe I'll hurt someone, maybe I'll get hurt, whatever. It's more toxic if I put it off.
Well,
it
yeah.
just builds like this.
Yeah,
like this.
you notice the more you put it off, the bigger it gets.
Yeah.
Sorry. Whoops. But it's true, because you put something off and it just becomes bigger and bigger and bigger, and it becomes so huge and insurmountable that you can't see yourself getting over it.
Yeah, it becomes the mountain
that you can't
instead
climb.
of just the step you take.
That's right, and the mountain that you can't climb, and the mountain that then takes a superhuman effort to get over.
Exactly.
And all of those mountains would have been nothing more than a grain of sand if you had just made a choice at the moment you encountered it.
And that reminds me of the last episode, the crisis. The crisis doesn't have to happen if you just proactively choose. But if you put off choice, it's like inside of yourself, you want more, but you're like, I don't have time, whatever. It becomes this huge.
I'm so glad you remember the last session.
I did remember because I edited it.
You know why? Because I have no clue what I say. If you were to ask me what I said at the beginning of this episode, I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Actually, I don't remember either, but I do remember you talking about Starbucks. And
Yeah. Okay, well that's only because you got Starbucks in your head.
That's true.
And we might go there after this episode.
I'm definitely hoping. But anyway.
So, what do you say? I think we've done our half hour plus.
What's the time at?
25.
25? Oh yeah, okay, we're done.
Yeah.
Hey.
I think we had a good time. I hope that the people that are watching this kind of enjoyed it. Okay?
Yeah.
It's a little bit more me, it's a little bit more you. Me, a little bit more ye, a little bit more you. This is what something like that.
Yeah, and I hope there was a point.
There is. I think the point through the whole thing is don't wait until things become so humongous that you take forever to choose when it's so easy to do it right in the moment. And don't be so afraid to choose because then you build, because you have to go in a straight line. It's okay not to go in a straight line because choosing will take you here, take you there, go there, back and forth, back and forth. That's what choosing does.
Yeah.
But it doesn't create mountains. If you put yourself and say, no, I got to get to this point, you're going to create a mountain out of that. And it's going to be really difficult.
Yeah.
Anyhow, we'll probably expand on some of this as we go along in the next session. Okay? The next episode. But we were trying to keep these episodes for 30 minutes. I think we've passed that 30 minutes now. So, have fun. Thank you for listening. We had a grand old time. I really like this format.
Yeah.
It's fun. I like being fun.
Yeah.
And hopefully people will enjoy this as much as we had fun doing it.
I think it's funny how the first episode was very serious. Like, okay, you have to channel. The second one was like, oh, let's just do something easier. And this one was like, fuck it.
Yes, but I don't know about you, but I like this one better.
Yeah. This feels like, this is easy.
All right. Good night, everybody. Or good afternoon.
Good
evening.
morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Oh, it's afternoon for us.
For us, but what if somebody watches it in the morning?
Well, not my fault. They should
Right.
be watching it in the afternoon.
Well then,
So, you know.
sayonara.
That way when we
hasta
say
la
this,
vista.
sayonara, hasta la vista, whatever,
Yeah.
good afternoon, they go watching it in the afternoon, they'll know it's the afternoon.
Yeah. Oh, it's like Anchorman. Nope, I lost it. There was a quote that's like, good morning, good afternoon. If I don't see you, good evening. You just cover all the bases. I don't know which movie that's from, but I think it's a movie.
Okay. Sure. Anyhow, take care. Bye bye.